Hello there, Ray here, and a new snapshot came out. This is the 1.14 snapshot, and this is 19W7A. Now, in this snapshot, they came out with the new mob, the foxes, as well as a bunch of different properties that they have, as well as coming in with a bunch of bug fixes, too. I'll be going over all the different changes in the snapshot. And don't forget, guys, tonight we're going to have the snapshot testing stream where we do further testing about the snapshot and see what kind of crazy farms we can build out of them. That'll be at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time this Wednesday. They introduced a new mob called the fox, and you can find them naturally inside of taiga biomes. And the spawn egg can be found down in the creative menu. It's down here. It's this light orange one here. It's a fox spawn egg. And when you spawn them in, this is what they look like. You can see they kind of have these derpy looking eyes. They have many different positions in which they stand, and they are very scared. They are able to harvest the berries, and they can hold items in their mouth as well. So he just came over there, harvest that berry. Now he came down and he sat down and he's eating on his berry. There you go, he ate it all up. Now he's just sleeping here. And foxes can hold other things in their mouth too. If I just throw him this stick, it's possible for him to hold his mouth. There he goes. You see he's holding it in his mouth right there. Now if you kill a fox, I got a looting sword. This is looting 700 on it. So if it drops anything, it should come up. So we'll go ahead and kill it. And it just drops XPs, and if it has something held in its mouth, it'll also drop that. So you see it dropped us our stick back. So it doesn't have any unique item drop itself. They kind of make a very strange noise, almost like a chicken. Now they did say you will find foxes coming in close to villages at night. This kind of reminds me of like the fox in the hen house, where like the foxes will come into like settlements and try to kill the chickens. Now speaking of chickens, foxes will actually kill chickens. So if I just summon in a chicken, you'll see the fox are able to stalk them and kill them. You also notice the crunching noise they make when they try to go after them and attack them. Now he's still holding one of the chicken pieces in his mouth, but he'll still go after other ones and attack them. They kind of make a funny noise as they're harvesting berries. It's kind of like a whooshing noise. I guess that's the noise of him eating his berry. Now, fox are nocturnal, so most of the time you'll find them during the daytime just sleeping, but at night they'll perk up. So if I set the time to night, you see that they both perked up and they are ready to go out and hunt. They're also very nimble and quick, so you can't really run up onto them when you're in survival. They will just run away from you. So if I go back here and I go into survival mode, even from this distance, they're trying to run away from me, and they're very quick, as you can see. They're skipping all over the place. Even if I try to sprint up onto them, they are doing pretty good at running ahead of me as soon as they see me. Now they say a fox will eat every item that is food that's on the ground. So let's see if we give this fox some unusual foods. Let's first start out with some bread. I'll give him some bread. He goes ahead and he holds it in his mouth. Let's put down some more fox. Let's throw this one a cake. Cake is in the food slot for player. He is holding the cake. And let's see if they actually eat them. So this guy gets a bread. That guy has a cake. Let's go ahead and give a guy a potato. This is actually a poisonous potato. He is holding it in his mouth. Doesn't mean he's necessarily going to eat it, so we have to wait to see if these guys will eat their food. And let's give that guy a spider eye. This guy still got his potato. This guy went ahead and ate his bread already. This guy just ate his poisonous potato. This guy ate his spider eye. This guy's still walking around with the cake in his mouth. So it looks like the guy with the cake in his mouth, he's not eating his cake. So they might pretty much eat every item that you see here, but a couple of them they may not eat, such as the cake. Now, just like most babies, you can increase the growth speed by giving them the food that you use to breed the parents. So we just give these baby fox here some berries. You can see how big the fox heads is on the babies. So if we just keep giving them, we'll eventually make him adult. Okay, it turned into adult. You can see him there. And now they should be friendly towards us. So let's go into survival and see if he's still scared. He's still skittish, but they should still trust the player since he was bred up. Now fox will be more accepting of you if you sneak up onto them, similar to like ocelots, than if you would just walk up to them or sprint. You can see how close I got to these guys, and they're not running away from me. But man, they're really hammering down on these berry bushes. If you have any berry bushes in your farm, you want to make sure to put a fence around them. These guys just eat them all. You notice how the fox don't take damage when they go through the berry bushes, but as the players try to go through them, they will. They kind of like to hide inside the berry bushes and also harvest them from within, like this guy just did. As soon as you uncrouch, they all become scared and run away. You have to keep your crouch key down. Let's go ahead and just summon a fox right beside this villager. It's making like a sniffing noise. Oh yeah, you can see they just did a dive. You know how the foxes will sometimes dive onto their prey? A lot of times it's voles under snow, but that fox just did a jumping dive. Let's see if we can get them to do that again. They also do kind of a sneak attack as well. There you go. See, they both jumped and dived on top of it. Now they can locate chickens from very far away. You can see that guy went over here, and you can see that chicken from way over there. When you spawn them in, they can spawn in with different items in their mouth already. Like this guy had a rabbit's leather, and I seen another guy that spawned in had a cow leather in it. So I guess different things that they were trying to eat, or maybe they were trying to scavenge, they can have that in their mouth as they spawn in. And if they want to, they can drop that and then pick up something else that they can eat. Let's just drop him something very strange, like this spawn egg. See if he picks it up. Yep, he went ahead and picked it up in his mouth. So it seems like they can pretty much pick up any item in their mouth if they want to, but they only eat a certain amount of them. You can see right there, he did kind of a stalking before he jumped, where he went really low. Now there's one thing that's probably broken about the foxes, is that their hitbox, you can see, is a little bit higher than what it should be. This guy, he's trying to move while also trying to sleep. But yeah, the little red line, you see it's well above the hitbox. This means if he tries to go underneath something that's low, it's possible for him to suffocate, since the suffocation line is higher than his hitbox. So he won't collide with its back, but he'll end up suffocating. So you can see an instance like this. Right here, the fox can go above a slab because his hitbox allows him to stand above it. But if I put a block up here, it's not colliding with his hitbox, so I'm actually able to click with the block right here. But the red line will be inside this new solid block, and it'll cause him to suffocate. This was a problem with a lot of mobs when they first introduced them, but they went ahead and fixed it. So this is probably something they'll have to fix in the next snapshot. So they don't seem to attack parrots, which is another type of bird. Let's summon in a rabbit. Yes, they like to attack rabbits. Wolves will try to attack the fox. You see this wolf here is chasing after him. The fox is trying to run away. If you have a dog and a fox, the dog will not try to attack the fox. This fox here was spawned in with some emeralds in his mouth, which is pretty strange. Maybe he stole some emeralds from the villages that they try to go up into. They also like to go after different types of fish. So let's put down some fish here for the fox to try to go after. There's a tropical fish. They don't seem to care about the tropical fish. Let's go ahead and put down a cod. They're definitely interested on that one. Went ahead and killed it. Here's some salmon. They also like that one too. When the fox get damaged, they get kind of weird. They run around really fast, and they make that squeaky noise when they're taking damage. But the fox won't attack the pufferfish. Now, the fox's ability to jump really high actually comes in pretty crazy. If you have like a chicken inside of a fence, foxes are able to actually jump over the fence and get to the chicken inside. Let's see if we can show this again. Right there, you see that fox did a big, huge dive, jumped right over the fence. Now he's inside of the chicken coop, kind of. But yeah, he's pretty much stuck inside here. He won't really jump out unless he's diving after something on the outside. So I guess you could kind of make a fox trap like that. This one here spawned in, looks like with some wheat in its mouth. It makes some pretty high screeching noise as well. That one has some, looks like rabbit meat in its mouth. Or maybe it's a rabbit's foot. It seems like sometimes when you spawn them in, there are some darker ones and some lighter ones. This one spawned in with a chicken egg inside its mouth. This one spawned in with a feather in its mouth. Cats as well as ocelots don't seem to mind the fox. All these fox here see this berry item. They fell into the windowsill, but they can't reach it, so they're all kind of like trying to push inward on it. They also added some other structures to the villages, such as these armor stands, and they have some iron armor on them. You can see other cool things like some bonfires sitting around the edges, and there's like troughs that are in the middle of the paths. This one trough had one of the berries generate inside of it, which is kind of strange because there's no dirt block underneath of it. You can see that these walls here are glitched out, as they think there is a block here that they're trying to hook onto, but there isn't really anything here. This stack of pumpkins looks pretty normal, except this one pumpkin over here is actually a jack-o'-lantern. So they got some jack-o'-lanterns in these stacks. You notice how they introduce a lot of the campfires into the housing too. So here's a house, and in the center there's like a chimney, and then there is like a furnace here. And what they have on top of this is a campfire. You can see it right here. and it's putting off the smoke, so it looks really cool. Now you can find large ferns inside of the chests that generate with the villages, and these are different than the ferns that you can harvest as like a player. So if I go outside, you'll see normally you get those little teeny ferns, like this one over here, but you can actually get these large ferns as items, which normally were unattainable in survival. They fixed quite a few bugs in this snapshot as well, such as when drowns were throwing their tridents, they were throwing them backwards, and cats were going into sitting modes after they were bringing the players gifts. And they also fixed a bug to do with when you summon in a cat, every time you would make a baby using spawn eggs, it would only produce the same color cat. And cats were sneaking towards the players while they're bringing the gifts in. They fixed a bug that if you would hurt a panda, it would make the iron golems that are part of the village attack the player. Where it should just be the villagers, when you hurt them, the iron golems should come after the player. They fixed some more types of structures and problems with the jigsaw blocks that were used for them. But this is still a problem you can see here. They fixed problems when you break a campfire, it would still cause particles to come out of it. There's also a major problem that campfire particles were causing tons of lag in the game, and you have to restart your client to minimize it. So I'm really glad they fixed that one because it was slowly pulling down all the snapshot servers. Crossbows were actually rendering when the person was invisible. They also fixed some loot tables for customizations in barrels as well as cat loot. And they fixed the problem with composters giving off the wrong sound. And they changed that way that sand works now over snow layers. So if you've seen that previous video that I did about snow layers, it would just completely destroy it and then occupy it. So you can see there's just one layer, it can go ahead and destroy it. But if there's like 2 layers, you can see when it comes down, it pops off as item. And let's just go ahead and let's increase this one. That's 7 layers there. So that's just slightly lower than 1 block, it still pops up. There's 8 layers, so that's like a solid block almost. And let's see, we go ahead and drop it, and it still pops it off. So even though this is like a solid block, it still pops it off. And only when there's 1 layer will it actually go ahead and remove and occupy it. And you can see that's very similar to like grass, where it'll just destroy and occupy it. A lot of people have been waiting for the foxes. I'm really excited to see them in the game. They do have a lot of cool properties that are unique to this mob. I think that's the cool thing about every time they introduce a new mob. They come out with some unique properties. It kind of puts it apart from the rest of them, and people can kind of play around with it and do some cool stuff. But I'd love to hear what you guys think about the foxes, as well as what changes you think maybe they can introduce them. And if you know of any nasty bugs that are still in the game, tell me down in the comments. And if you did find this video interesting, be sure to go ahead and like it and share this with others. And if you would like to see more videos like this about the snapshots as well as things that you can do with the new features, be sure to go ahead and subscribe, and you can get notifications by hitting the bell symbol. I'll see you guys tonight at the snapshot stream.